Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Can we first address the elephant in the room, and that is today's background. I am currently living in a hotel. It's been almost 1 week today and there's another week to go. The reason I'm in a hotel is because before my apartment is handed to me, there is a 2-week time in between my last contract ending and then my next one starting. So that's why I'm living in a hotel. Obviously, I did try to get my apartment sooner so that I wouldn't have to live in a hotel, but it just didn't work out. So here we are. The lighting that I'm using is literally a vanity light that's built into the mirror. I feel like the production is probably not my best. I mean, you guys are used to like a dark background and like really nice glowy yellow light. This is obviously a little different. Thank you for being patient with me. This is my second Q&A on my channel. I have another Q&A that I filmed earlier on this year. In that video, I answered more basic questions like where I'm from, where I grew up, and where I went to school. So in case you guys want to check it out, it will be in the video card, which by the way will open up a whole new tab. This tab won't close. It'll also be in the description box down below. For those of you that are new here, first of all, hi. My name's Maryam and I make videos about fashion and fitness, and I'm so glad you're here. Today, we have yet another Q&A, you guys. So I went over to my Instagram and I asked you guys to ask me a few questions for an updated Q&A. I honestly love these types of videos. I love watching these types of videos and I love filming them because I just feel like whenever I do film one, I feel like we get to know each other a bit better. Since my last Q&A, my audience has grown quite a bit, so I just thought it would be nice to have another Q&A. These questions are in no particular order and I'll keep them anonymous. There are some repeat questions which I will probably not answer just to like avoid repetition. Let's get started. The first question is, what are you doing now after uni? And the question after this is asking, are you planning on staying in the UK? I just feel like it makes more sense for me to answer both of these questions together. I just graduated Halt Business School a few weeks ago. I have a whole graduation vlog. That's where I did my master's. Now I'm in that stage of my life where I have no university school type deadlines or type things, you know, going on. So it's so new and I'm genuinely enjoying it so much. It's so nice. I went to a very intense school back home in Dubai, and then right after that I did a 3-year bachelor's and then a 1-year master's. So it's just been very like go for me. So now right after uni I am chilling-ish. I mean, I still have a job. I work in fashion and I have a part-time job, which I'm really grateful for. Uni can just be really intense, so I just thought it would be nice to have like a period of time for, I'm not sure how long, where I'll work part-time and have more time to also focus on YouTube and just on myself. So to answer your question directly, I'm working part-time and just like taking a step back and just enjoying life right now. Yes, I am planning to stay in London in the UK for at least minimum 1 year, like 1 year for sure, probably 2 years, but I feel like after 2 years there is somewhere I do want to move to, which I won't disclose in this video. Maybe that'll be another video for another time. My family knows about it, my closest friends know about it, my boss knows about it, like everyone knows. Like I do want to move after a while, not back to Dubai. I mean, I want to move back to Dubai eventually, but before I do move back to Dubai, there is another city that I plan on conquering. Next question is favorite toe, obviously the middle one. Favorite sneaker brand. I feel like you guys might be expecting a big answer because like all I wear are sneakers. Like I love wearing sneakers. It's a lot to do with the reason of me loving street style. But the thing about sneakers is that like there's no particular brand that I go to buy sneakers. I love experimenting with a bit of everything. But if you were to ask me right now in this very moment, I really love Balenciaga for sneakers. It sounds very cliche in a way, but genuinely before the track sneakers took off like it is now, I really like those shoes. I still remember when I sent a picture to one of my best friends. She knows who she is. She's watching this now. She literally ripped them apart. She's like, why would you want to buy these? Like they're so bad and I don't know what. But genuinely I love my track sneakers, and I also ended up buying the speed knits this year from Balenciaga. So I think by default currently it's Balenciaga. When did you start working out? I have always been relatively active. I mean, my parents put me in karate when I was I think 8, 9, I don't know how old I was. Right after that I was more into cycling. Like I would take my cycle and I'd like cycle around like my community. When I turned 16, when I was allowed to join the gym, that's when I started working out. I did have a few PT sessions in the very beginning just to like learn how to like use machines and everything, but ever since my first month or 2 at the gym I haven't had PT sessions. It's just been me programming myself. What's your favorite football team? I don't watch football, and people that don't live in London, like when I go back home or like when I meet friends that are not from here, like why don't you watch football? Isn't it like a big thing in London? I'm like, yeah it is, but it's just not for me. If there is a sport I watch, it's cricket. I do it for the culture. Like I grew up watching it. Such a nice vibe watching it with your family. As a kid I didn't really like sports. I didn't really enjoy it, but like I feel like during my teens that's when I started to like enjoy watching cricket with my family, just just because like we are Indian. You guys know, if you know, you know, it's like a big thing in India. In short, I don't watch football, though I don't have a favorite team. Who's your favorite singer? I feel like I might have touched on this in my previous video, but I absolutely love Halsey. I love Janae Aiko. I love Kehlani, Kiana Lede. I do enjoy British rap. It's nice. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice. Also, I genuinely love Sal Houdini's music so much. The fact that his music isn't known by so many people just makes it feel almost like personal to you, but obviously it's not. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, his music is amazing. One of my friends told me about him, and ever since she did, I have a whole playlist on my phone just of like Sal Houdini music. Like, it's just so good. Next question, how do you deal with conflict? What I like about these questions I do on Instagram is that the questions I get, like, I genuinely love the questions you guys ask. I feel like they really have like substance to them. When it comes to dealing with conflict, I love communicating. However, before I get to the communication bit, I like to sit with things. Like, I'm not very in the moment, let me like respond now. Or I feel like when you respond in the moment, it's not even like responding, it's more like reacting. Just to avoid reacting to things, I really like to like sit with things, really understand what's going on, and then be vocal about it, but at my own pace. I don't like feeling rushed in any sense. I don't like feeling like I have to like have a confrontation like now. I really like sit with things, because if I'm not doing that, if I just like try and like respond in the moment, I feel like the other person, even myself, I will just be like listening to what they're saying to respond to them, not to understand what they're saying. The main thing about dealing with conflict, I feel like, is that like you need to really be at a place where like you're listening to the other person to understand their points, not to just like respond back to them, if that makes sense. How was your experience living by yourself in another country for studies? In short, I absolutely love it. I love the independence. Like, ever since I was 15, 16, when like talks of university started to happen in my house, I would always tell my parents like, oh, I really want to move out for university, I really want to live abroad. I'm so grateful to my parents for being so supportive. Like, honestly, like if they weren't supportive, like this wouldn't have been possible. So living by myself, you really get to like understand yourself better. It's hard to explain. In a way, you feel liberated because you know that you can take care of yourself. Like, you got this, you got you, and that's a really nice feeling, to be like self-sufficient in a way. I mean, I wasn't financially independent when I moved out. I was still being supported by my parents, so I wasn't like fully independent. When you live by yourself, it's just this whole different experience. I do recommend it. Like, honestly, you learn so much about life in general. It does force you to grow up a little bit, which I really like. I mean, I feel like I've always been like a bit too mature for my age. Inshallah, one day, like whenever I do have children, I do want them to also live away, because the things you learn when you live away without your parents, you just can't learn it anywhere else. Like, it's just very special. Ice cream or pancakes? Guys, come on. Pancakes. What's the best advice you've been given? What if things can turn out better than you expected? I haven't been asked about the worst advice I've been given. If you guys were wondering, the worst advice was be realistic. Why is Naz your favorite Bengali gal in the whole world? You guys, Naz is basically one of my sweetest, the nicest friends ever. When I was moving flats, the storage company wouldn't take my TV to store with them because they wanted me to have the original packaging. Obviously, I didn't hold on to the original packaging of my TV. I feel like no one does. I almost had to like bring my TV with me to a hotel, which is so weird. Like, I didn't want to do that. Naz was so kind. She literally was like, I can leave it at her flat, which was like, you see what I mean? Like, she's literally the kindest and sweetest girl ever. What's your type? I don't know if you're asking like what's my type in terms of like ethnicity, or like type in terms of like other things. Like, I don't know what you mean. I have dated like people from most ethnicities, and I've realized that for me, it's really not to do with like the way a person looks. Like, my type doesn't really revolve around that. It's more so like the deeper things, and you really understand who the person is. But I've realized that like my type is more like the person I'm most compatible with. When I was a teenager, or like in my late teens, the last thing I would think about was compatibility, like your life goals or values, and you know, all of those types of things. But that is honestly so important, you being compatible with the person you're with. Like, if that's on point, then I feel like that gives you a really good foundation for like a good relationship. So my main thing now is to really just like gravitate towards people whom I think I am most compatible with. That would be my answer. Basically, anyone I feel most compatible with. What's one thing you can improve on when you're in a relationship? Not too long ago, I feel like almost like a month ago, I was talking to one of my best friends, and she was telling me that like I'm very giving. Like, I give a lot when I'm in a relationship. I used to in the past take on the role of like, oh, I have to help this person, like help heal them. And the reason for that is because that came very naturally to me, or it comes very natural to me, because I actually am an empath, and I actually discovered this in therapy. By the way, therapy is amazing. If any of you guys are thinking of starting therapy, just do it. It's the best thing ever. Anyway, so at therapy, I learned that I'm actually an empath. I tend to like naturally really gravitate towards taking on a role of really like helping people and giving a lot, you know, like a lot of like emotional support. Whilst this is a really good quality and I really like this quality about myself, what's not good about it is that like I used to not have strong boundaries. Basically, like my boundaries were sort of weak. If you don't have strong boundaries, like people are really quick to take advantage of whatever niceness you have. I mean, it sounds so dark, but like that's kind of like the reality of the world. So for me to really like work on that was just for me to become more aware and conscious about it. And that's something like a lot of my best friends say, and I just feel like we had a really deep moment there. You guys remember Elsie? She was on my channel a few times. Her and I, we get along so well because she's also an empath. Some of the things she's gone through in her life like is so similar to some of the things I've gone through in my life, so like that's why we get along so well. I also got another question that says, what do you do in London besides your studies? I think I pretty much already answered this. I mean, part-time work, and inshallah soon I'm gonna start and upload twice a week. You guys, I feel like I've been saying this for the past 6 months, but now I promise I will, because like I'm not at uni anymore, so like I can, so I will. Do you ever wish you studied law? No. My mom would literally like almost like half joke about it when I was growing up, like you should study law, because like I was very, and I still am very opinionated, like I love to voice my opinion, and so because of that my mom would like joke around like, oh, you should study law as well along with fashion, like just do that too. Did you spend all 3 years of Marangoni in London? I'll begin soon, same course in Milan. Firstly, congratulations, I'm so excited for you, that is amazing. Yes, I basically did all 3 years in London. However, I do know people, I have friends that have done 1 year in London, 1 year in Paris, and 1 year in Milan, so that's also an option in case you're wondering. I do plan on making a whole other video on Marangoni because I do get some reoccurring questions, and also I was thinking of maybe like having a video about the types of jobs you could have after Marangoni, like a quick like descriptive type of video. Let me know if you guys are interested in that type of content. Give this video a thumbs up or maybe even comment down below. How do you deal with L's? I feel like the short answer is I just take it as an invitation to grow. It sounds so cheesy, but genuinely every single winner out there is just a loser that didn't give up. The winners were also losers at one point, but they just didn't give up, you know what I mean? What about the boys? We want to know. Laughing emoji, eyes. When it comes to boys, I'm very private. I never post on my Instagram or even like YouTube. I've never posted anything. I'm not fully opposed to like posting about that. However, I just feel like it would take a lot for me to do that. I feel like this question is mainly asking me if I'm like seeing anyone, seeing or dating anyone, and I feel like to answer this question truthfully, the answer is I've been going on dates. I mean, that's all I'm gonna say. The last question to wrap up this video: do you have a life plan for your career? I do like to have a plan. I mean, I love vision boards and like having like actual like quantifiable goals. However, the plans that I do have are more so to like give me a sense of direction. Sometimes like you'll have a plan and whilst pursuing something you'll actually realize that's not something you want to do, so you can easily pivot. I feel like having a plan is nice, not to like put yourself in a box that this is only what I'm gonna do, but more so to like give yourself a sense of direction, because I just feel like it's so important to be flexible with your actual end goal. Don't be flexible with your accountability, but be flexible with what your end goal should look like. It can sound counterintuitive if you look into it in a certain way. I was actually watching this podcast the other day by the author, the lady who wrote the 5-second rule, and then she was saying something how like she was so focused on having her book be the New York Times bestseller that almost made her miss an opportunity to become extremely successful on Audible. I mean, what she was trying to say in the podcast is that maybe you might think you want something, but whilst pursuing something you really desire, you might not get that. You might actually get something better. And now she has like this amazing partnership with audible.com, which is obviously phenomenal. She never achieved her goal of being the New York's #1 bestseller. However, she did manage to like conquer a whole other goal that wasn't even on her vision board, I guess. My point is that like it's nice to have a plan, just to have like a sense of direction, because having a sense of direction is what's going to lead you to something even better. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little Q&A. Subscribe to my channel if you aren't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!